Today I'm going to show you how to use Tinkercad to make a fantastic bottle with its own threaded cap. So let's get cracking. We're going to start at Tinkercad.com. It is the absolute easiest way to learn computer-aided design. It is 100% free and I simply choose sign in with Google. Today we're going to hit create new 3D design. I like to start by naming projects. We're going to call this one bottle and I'm going to put 26 after it. Now, if you've never seen Tinkercad before, I've got a ton of day one tutorials. I've got them in a playlist and you can find it right here. It's a fantastic place to start if you're just getting started. We're going to start by building the thread and we're going to use the sketch tool to build it. When you bring this out, notice it fits in a 20 by 20 grid. When you click to set it down, you enter the sketch tool, and I always recommend checking out the sketch features. These have all sorts of tips that'll help you be more efficient. As a designer, you can bounce through them at your own pace, read, check out the animations. When you're done, simply hit the X. If you prefer my tutorials, I've got a full playlist and you can find the bit.ly right here. I'm simply going to take this centimeter cube and make a diamond in it. Notice I'm going 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. Once I finish, I'm going to double click and double click again to auto smooth it into a circle. Now this is going to be our own custom thread. It's going to be whatever size we pick right here. So I'm going to choose to make it 12 millimeters across. This is going to be small so it prints fast. And then we simply click on it and we keep 112 and we make the other 13. We want it to be an oval. At that point we can hit finish sketch. Move over here to the quality and hit 3. This makes our life easier as we complete the project. We're going to set the twist to full 360 and we want it to be smooth. Just like that, you have got what I call a knuckle thread. Now this knuckle thread has a height of 10. Notice the difference between this. We can adjust it if we take it and make it 8. So that makes it a little bit more compact. Now if you need this to be longer, you simply do this. W for work plane, click right here, Control D and D to drop. That's how we lengthen our screws. I don't need this to be any longer, so I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to do W and put the work plane back down on the bottom. Now I need to make the hole that we're going to use for the cap. Check this out. We simply duplicate it, nudge it to the side, make it a hole, edit the sketch, and then I have found for my printers that if I change this by 0.3, so 13.3 and 12.3, that gives me enough cutout area so that my threads work pretty awesome. With that done, we can hit finish sketch, and I'm just going to move these two parts to the side. So with these threads built, I do want to remind you there are lots of ways to do threads in Tinkercad. There's a built-in part, plus I've got a technique CDP shared. If you want to check out my full thread playlist, you can find it right here. Now if we check our thread quick, notice it is size 13. That is because of how the bumps measure this. So we just need to remember the size of 13. Now we're going to make our bottle using Sketch Revolve. Same trick. I'm bringing it out. It fits exactly in a grid. I'm going to click. And of course, there are sketch features to check out. And now we're going to build with the radius. So remember that diameter of 13. I'm only going to go about 8 over. Now we're going to press number 2 to make a curve. And we want to go 2 over, 2 up. Click, hold, and twist. Notice I've got these orange lines going straight up and down. 2 clicks makes a beautiful curve. I'm going to go up 18. Notice I'm too short of 20. And then I'm going to go in 5 and I'm going to go up 4. Click, hold, and twist. This one I want to be a little more smooth. And then I'm simply going to go up 7 more. Hit escape to finish. I do want to round this one right here. I'm going to simply click on it and hit number 2. I want to go back to this one and make it a straight line. There's my number 1. And then this one has an awesome smooth curve that looks sweet for a bottle. Now if you want to adjust this, notice I can zoom in. I can tweak that to whatever I want. If you want to do finer adjustments, you can switch your nudge and you can just adjust this slope. Notice it moves up and down or left and right using the arrow keys to find the perfect curve for your bottle. I'm going to choose this right here, and then I'm also going to change the stroke to 0.8 so that way it prints even faster. Finally, I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. I do want to maximize the sides, and I'm going to set that quality to 3 and press enter. Now we're going to line up our threads with our shape. I'm going to simply grab these two, choose L for align. We need the bottle to be the boss, and of course it has to go to the top, and then we're going to choose center and center. I do want to adjust this so it's no longer solid. If we double click it, click on this shape, let's go back in here and we simply want to make it a stroke. I want it to be just outside this. I'm going to choose to make this 1.5 and press enter. Notice now it comes close to those outside edges and we can hit finish sketch. If you look here, you can see our opening lines up pretty well. If you needed an exact number, you would just make sure this is a little larger. But for what I'm doing, this is absolutely perfect. Just like that, we are done with the bottle and ready for the cap. The cap works just like this. We are going to bring out Sketch Revolve, set it down in a 20 by 20 grid, and then we're going to click Finish. This allows us to grab these two shapes, choose L for align, and we want to make sure that thread is center and center on our Sketch Revolve. Now when we double click, we've got a great view of how large the thread is. We're simply going to go about 2 millimeters past. We're going to stop 1 millimeter short. We're going to go over 2, up 2, and we do want to hit number 2 for the curve, click, hold, and twist. Same trick with keeping it straight. Press number 1, move it across to this edge, come down to this edge, and finish it. Just like that, you've made your cap. We do want to make sure that we set this to a quality of 3. That makes the intersect that we're about to do a little faster. I am going to bump the sides up to the max. Just double check the alignment underneath. That is good. Grab the 2 and do Control G to union group. Note this is complex, so it does take a moment. But there it is. Our cap has been created. I'm going to simply flip it 180 degrees. Notice if we stay inside the line, it's 22.5 degrees per turn. If you hold down shift, it's 45 degrees per turn as you flip it and get it ready for 3D printing. Tiny bottle, custom threads. How cool is that? All right, with that built, let's do the final checks. I'm going to hit D to drop to make sure that's on the work plane, D to drop to make sure this is on the work plane. Notice this one did jump, so now we need to use a line. L for align, you do need to make the green one the boss, and then of course we want them to pop to the top. Now if we look at our shape, this is not quite lined up. This is also when we can double click. I'm going to switch my nudge to 0.1, and I'm going to simply double click this shape, and I'm going to grab these two pieces right here, and if we zoom in, I'm just going to nudge it out until that collides. Bang! Thread complete. We can hit finish sketch, and now we can select everything. We're going to choose export, and I'm going to choose STL. I'm going to save it in my 3D modeling folder. We are going to simply keep the name Bottle 26, and we are going to print it today with the Prusa Core 1 Plus. Let's simply hit add. There is my Bottle 26 at the top of the 3D modeling folder. As you can see, this little fella is tiny. We're going to use 0.2 speed. I'm printing with the generic PLA silk. If we hit slice now, you can see that it's going to be done in about 20 minutes. Let's hit send to connect. I'm going to set the printer to ready, and let's confirm and get printing. And here we are, not too much later, with our tiny 3D printed bottle and cap. Let's go test it. All right, this is kind of fun. There's a quarter, and there is our tiny bottle. Of course, the moment of truth. Do the threads work? Bingo. How cool is that? Once again, the Core 1 Plus absolutely crushing it, and Tinkercad making threads so darn easy. Once again, I call this the knuckle thread, and it's made using the sketch tool. So there you have it. That's the Tinkercad Knuckle Thread and how to make a fantastic bottle in just a few minutes. Of course, we can also do threads that match specifications in the real world. Make sure you check the links up above to see all of those as well. I would also like to say thank you to ZDP189 for sharing all these fantastic skills. Lastly, if you make something fantastic with these skills and you choose to make it public, please take a moment to add the HLMT23 tag so we can all check it out. Finally, thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Make sure you pay attention as well to those members only post. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. We're way past 600 members. It has a fantastic free messaging area where you can post designs, ask questions, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe. You're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.